So if you're an inspiring fashion blogger, you know that lookbook videos are essential to help building your brand. Or if you're a fashion blogger's boyfriend or girlfriend, you know you're always the dedicated camera guy, so you're gonna have to figure out how to make a sick lookbook video to make them happy. While I'm not an expert on making lookbook videos, I did just want to go through a rundown of a lookbook video I made for my girlfriend about 2 weeks ago and just give you some tips and tricks that I learned along the way. Simple short lookbook video, nothing too fancy, nothing too out there. Hopefully you noticed the video aligned with the music, and every time there was a good beat it cut away to something else or would do some cool transition, things like that. These are just really simple things you can do to improve your videos. But before we get into editing, let's go over some shooting tips. So step one, if you're very new to videography or photography, you probably heard of something called the golden hour, and this is when the sun is either rising or setting. These are the two prime time opportunities for you to go outside and capture some sick footage with amazing lighting. Sunrise and sunset are really the pristine hours you should be out filming. They give you this nice beautiful orange glow to your lighting, and the lighting at these times are especially helpful for avoiding ugly shadows. When you go out in the mid-afternoon, like 12 o'clock, the sun's right overhead of you, all your shadows are going to be basically casting downwards on your face, and it's just not going to look nice. Those kind of shadows aren't really flattering to your subject, especially in a video that's focused on their looks. For whatever reason, if you don't want to wake up that early to catch the sunrise, or if you don't want to stay out too late to catch the sunset, just go out on an overcast day. You're gonna get nice even lighting everywhere. Everything's gonna be nice soft shadows. You're not gonna have too much drama in your lighting. I guess nothing's gonna look too dramatic or intense, but you'll really have nice smooth shadows everywhere, and everything will be evenly lit, so that'll also look pretty good for your video. Next tip is to shoot at 60 frames per second minimum. Most cameras out there nowadays, even if you're using a cell phone, you actually can go even more than 60 frames per second. I'm shooting on the Sony a6300 that can do 60 frames a second at 1080p. It can actually do 120 frames a second, though the quality of the video isn't as sharp as the 60 frames, so I just recommend staying with 60 frames. That's more than enough for this. You want to be shooting at a higher frame rate so you can slow it down by 50% later on. Slow motion video is super popular in lookbook videos and in blogs and in anything you want to look cinematic. And yes, while it may be a little bit too overdone and a bit too trendy right now, it's that for a reason. It just looks good. And shooting at a higher frame rate and slowing it down later lets you smooth out some of the roughness from your video. It actually helps smooth out some of the bumpiness and some of the shakiness from you holding your camera. Now we're leading into the next tip, which is use motion. Use motion throughout your entire lookbook video. You really want to be moving your camera as much as possible throughout your lookbook video, because just a static shot on a tripod is not very interesting. Now, of course, you can still get some static shots of the camera on a tripod, but use them a bit more sparingly. Use them a bit more thoughtfully. Like this shot right here, I have close-up of my girlfriend's face. It's a bit more of an intimate shot. It makes you feel more of a connection with her, and I think it's just a great way to end a video that's primarily all about the looks, and at the end you get more of the personality. And if you're creative enough, you can actually use motion to transition between clips. This is actually something I struggle with in post. I shot most of my footage static, had no movement at all. So in post, I went in, I just cropped in on the clip a little bit, and then I just added some keyframes so I can move the clip back and forth. And if you don't know about keyframes, keyframes. I'm not going to teach you about that in this video, but you of course can search on YouTube for how to keyframe video in Final Cut Pro or Premiere Pro or whatever application you're using. And the last tip for shooting is get detailed shots. Get lots of shots of the outfit. The entire point of the video is to show off these outfits. Get nice close-ups of the bag that they're maybe wearing, the hat, the pants, the shoes, whatever it is, whatever they're trying to show off. Get nice close-up detailed shots of that stuff. That's something again that I'm going to be practicing on the next video. Focus on the outfit, focus on getting little bits and pieces of the outfit, and then at the end, show the entire thing, show off the entire look, whatever it may be. Now editing is really where you're gonna make this video pop. As much work as you put into shooting this video, you're gonna have to double that for editing. Now I'm not gonna give you a lot of tips here because everyone's editing style is different, and what you think looks good may be different from what I think looks good. And at the end of the day, really, it's your video, so whatever you think looks the best is the best. But of course, you want to find a really sick song to go wrong with your video with a really cool beat that just makes it all come together, whatever you think goes along with the footage. After you find your song, edit to the beat. Remember to edit to the beat always. I see a lot of videos where the music isn't going with the video at all and it just feels jarring and out of place. Now personally, I think it's really easy, and I'm pretty sure it will be for most people, but I know some people do struggle with it. You really just have to keep listening to music on repeat over and over and over again and just try to catch the rhythm, where after a couple beats you hear the repetition in the music and you can find where it starts over again, and at that point you can cut your video to go along with it. It's going to take some practice if you've never done it before, but I promise you it's super easy. Once you get the hang of it, it's going to be the fastest part of your editing process. Of course, most lookbook videos want to use title tags to distinguish what piece of clothing is from where. I didn't do that with my lookbook video. My girlfriend didn't want that in this. She just wanted to show off the outfits. It's really more of a promo piece to show what we are going to do in the future. But most of the time, you do want to use title tags to show off which piece of clothing is what and how much it costs and things like that. And that's really simple to do. Every editing program out there should have a title tag system in there somewhere. You just drag and drop it over your clips, type in whatever you want, change the size and font. But if you want to step up your title tag game, you can actually get a tracking plugin for Final Cut Pro, or I think a Premiere Pro has this built in where you can actually track something in your video and then align your title to that track, and it'll make it look like the title is actually part of the video in the first place, like it was there in the environment with you. May not be necessary for everybody. This is definitely a next step, a next level thing if you're trying to up your game. You might have noticed in my video there's a bunch of cool transition effects. There's cool glitching effects and zoom in, zoom out, slides, things like that. I actually purchased those transitions from another YouTuber called Ryan Nangle, I think it's pronounced. He's a sick video editor. He's really awesome at what he does. I highly recommend going and checking out his videos. He's awesome. He does a lot of tutorials on how to copy different kind of camera effects and different transition effects and things like that. He makes a ton of different things to purchase. I'm not sponsored by him. I don't know, that'd be weird for a YouTuber to sponsor another YouTuber, but I highly recommend checking him out, and I purchased these from him. But of course, the transitions are only part of the equation. You still need to use audio and sound effects to make them really pop. And if you're on Premiere Pro, I'm sure you can go find transition packs out there for you to purchase yourself and just drag and drop. I'll leave a link down below for a site where you can find free sound effects. They don't have everything, but they have a lot. It's just users that upload them. You're gonna have to make an account, but it's free. Then you don't have to pay for anything. You just give attribution to the person your sound effect you use. You can also use sound effects to really add to the atmosphere of your video. So right here, I have a scene of her walking through a forest, and I just added some sound effects of birds chirping and wind blowing through a forest. And I have that sound effect just cut down to where that portion of the video is and just fades in and out nicely once you go into that clip and out of that clip. And it really just adds overall to the atmosphere. It makes it feel more like you're there, like you're a part of the scene. Now, I'm not gonna go over color correction. Again, that's gonna be about your style. Whatever you think looks best is best. You're gonna have to experiment. But hopefully some of these quick tips really help you out, and some of the links to the resources help you out too. I hope this video wasn't too all over the place. It kind of felt like I jumped around, but hopefully it made sense to you. And again, I'm not an expert. This is some of just the stuff that I picked up and I learned while I was shooting my lookbook video. If you know any other suggestions or any tips, you can go ahead and leave them down below. Helps each other out. Just communicate. Help me out too. I want to learn as well. But if you like the video and it helped you out, maybe consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. That'd be super cool. And again, I'll leave the links to the plugins, the free sound effects resource, and I'll even leave a link to where I get music from. It's a subscription service. It's a little pricey, but if you want royalty-free music where you don't have to worry about YouTube blocking your ads or stealing your ads, whatever it is, it's really worth signing up for. But as always, my name is Joshua Joe Munoz. Stay sexy, and I'll see you sometime.